well, Team Singapore could be also argued that they can learn a lot from that previous game. Looking towards the ban, they take away Maokai as the first ban, not really going for that Kha'Zix like they did previously.
Yeah, it's not going to be the Kha'Zix ban. The Nico's still going to follow. They have ignored the Kha'Zix so far, but it was their third ban was.
No, it was the first.
Kha'Zix.
It was the first. It was the first one. They gave the respect over to Pillow after watching him yesterday absolutely dominate on
and
that
there
one.
it goes. Okay, they just switched up the order because they can.
Yeah, I was just curious. I'm like, do you take that away, or maybe do you take that Gwen away? Since Yummy did play very well on it, but then you're banning Gwen really early into the draft. But Zeri actually going to be banned here.
Leaves open the Annie. It still leaves open the Vi if that's something that Singapore were considering playing themselves. And the Wukong is going to be slammed here.
Interesting to see that adaptation from J-Rock because I feel like his Viego was unparalleled. It was so clean with how he was able to pilot a lot of those fights.
Wukong is also one of those picks that you really do look at and say, this is a team fight option. Now we know our opponents are going to team fight us. Let's pick something that we like a lot more. So much better already from Thailand. Annie was the champion they didn't ban in place of the Zeri this time around. So they are going to look for that one themselves. I like that. Just seeing better things so far, 2 picks in.
And taking the Nautilus really early into the draft has flexibility. We've seen it in the jungle. But Vi also still open that they can take if they want to grab that for Pello.
Yeah.
And they don't have to take it that quickly because they see Wukong on the other side.
Looking forward to what it is going to be here, though, for the 2-3 of Singapore, the Aphelios pick. Jinx still going to be there, as is the Ahri that we saw in game number 1. Mid lane options definitely still exist, and this is one of those handshake lanes now confirmed. My question is with this third pick, not that second one.
It really does have a lot of question marks all around it. I'm expecting a marksman here. Maybe just take away Aphelios, something very strong.
Could be a Milio or something.
Milio would also be a good one, but Zeri.
Okay, so
Xayah.
I think we're very clearly looking at a Xayah Rakan composition that is setting itself up. Kind of forces that ban out of Thailand, depending on where they go with their third pick here. Nautilus, again, AD carry with it should be perfectly fine now that you've shown the Nautilus. So you have that freedom. Not something that's going to be banned away. So if you are going to go for the Jinx, the MF perhaps from last time, now is the time to actually draft that properly.
And have gone for the Jinx. Hyperscaling into the game. Has that Nautilus, has Annie. Good setup on both sides that can create a lot of space, especially with the dashing in that both Wukong and Ahri provide for a team. So I do like that they grab this early, want something that's going to scale a little bit better into the game, a little bit stronger, have their own resets on their team. Well, they do ban away some top laners on each side, and seeing the Gwen respect to Yummy.
Yeah, the AP top lane is being banned away. The Rakan respect ban of necessity is going to be taken here. Also, it doesn't mean that it was going to be a Rakan locked in, but Rakan, Wukong, Ahri, insane composition, insane team fighting. That has to be respected. And that Kennen ban, just kind of attacking the team fight options that are here for
What's another good thing that works well with Wukong, works well with the Rakan. Take away a lot of those team fight capability. Options that they have for themselves, as the Viego will be the final ban from Team Singapore. And Fiora, a blind Fiora
is an absolute Chad move. Doesn't know what his opponent is going to be. Yummy says, I don't care. I'll beat all of them.
I feel like after that last game against Blair, he's like, you know what? I don't think you have what it takes to go 1v1 against me.
I'll tell you what.
You have nothing.
He picked the Gragas. So it's not going to be a Scion that's like a free lane or anything like that, but it is going to be the Gragas that it's not as easy. But Gragas can get through a lot of difficult lanes in relatively short order, and the Janna here does put the Nautilus into the jungle position, perhaps force through the composition, but whatever it may be.
I kind of like that Janna though.
And was
that disengage?
That was a Janna last pick, right?
Yeah, it was a Janna last pick.
Yeah, so the Braum get picked again. Braum makes a lot of compositions really strong, especially being able to get auto attacks off, and Wukong very good for this stun combos that can be there. But you see the Braum, you see an instant Janna, double ranged bot lane, means Braum doesn't really get to play League of Legends unless your jungler is there.
And then Ahri, Wukong, them diving in, a lot riskier. You can get bounced out of the fight before you actually get too much off. You can't really reliably engage. This is something that we've seen a couple of times when Janna has been picked. It's all about disengaging the competition. Well, for Team Thailand, they have a lot of non-committal engage too with both Annie and Nautilus.
Yeah, I think that's like the difficulty. I think with Thailand's composition is going to be that their wave clear has to be deep.
Yes.
Which means it has to be someone who is auto-attacking, which also means that Ari can have a free opportunity. Wukong could have a free opportunity for those engage angles. Makes it easier for the Braum as well to deny waves with the door being placed
Very
up.
true.
Because the Annie only engages when it comes to those skirmishes, right? It's not going to be based on wave clear. Then you just don't have your stun. Then you no longer really, what's the reason in playing Annie? And because your composition has the Fiora and you're looking to split push, that's why I bring this up.
Yep.
Because you are going to be on that 1-4. Janna's disengaged. Nautilus has really good disengage as well. Annie can kite back pretty well if you're going towards her. It may just be a composition that once again is Yummy save us.
Yep.
But if we get fed, we can do it all ourselves anyway.
It could also be Yummy save us while we turtle up inside of our base and nobody. It's protect the president kind of composition. Keep Sayomo alive the whole time. While for Team Singapore, their identity is get the president. Everyone jump on top of this backline. Get on top of Jinx. Make sure you have the flanking tools from both Wukong and Ari at the same time.
Yeah, it definitely is more dive-centric here from Singapore. Hopping into this second game, Zaya more self-sufficient. The rest of the team goes forwards, and they just say, you have a great time down there, Blaze. Live your life. Be aggressive. Be passive. Just stay alive. That is your job.
Honestly, we won't even be checking in on you. We won't be writing back. We won't be writing home to check on you either.
There will be no letters in the mail.
No, it's all on yourself. But you'll be fine here, at least for the moment, because we have loaded up into the game. Nobody going for anything spicy. I'm not expecting that, especially because no blitzcrank. Not like I wanted to see. I really do want to see that.
20 gold, GG, obviously. Janna wins lane now. That's just the way it goes.
It always goes that way.
It is actually true with a lot of support champions. Janna, blitzcrank high on that list, that you start to, if you hit your first tornado, you have an opportunity to hard read your opponent. It's like paper, scissors, rock, right?
Yep.
You hit that first one, you hard read the rock with paper, it's on.
Yep.
And that next one hits, then you're in their head. It's rent-free for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you literally can miss the next 4, and it's still rent-free in their head because like, ha, ha, I dodged it, ha.
They'll remember those first 2.
Yup. So, I'm kind of looking at that bot lane as a point to attack, especially because Chera on this Wukong can really utilize the Braum to help out. And even if it is the double range, they are both very immobile. So if you get early flashes out of them, that is the freest lane to gank at every point of the game.
And again, this Braum lane, free priority, right? Definitely just going to be pushing in down there. This mid lane tends to stay equalized. Just getting first strike procs off one another. Look at the money they're making.
Money, money, money.
It tends to be that Ari and Annie can sit in the waves.
Uh-oh.
It's this bot lane where you have to put all that attention towards. And right now, Shera working towards the lane. Level 2 is going to be spotted on a ward, but is moving towards potentially the other side jungle, if not a gank here. And they've made it very obvious that they know.
They're like, hey, get away. We are not pushing that far. We will let it crash. We don't care. And it gives more freedom to Pello. And looking at how the rest of the map is going for Team Thailand, Yummy, he is getting a pretty free lane at the moment.
They know exactly where Wukong is at all times. So Yummy gets to play perfect League of Legends, completely untouched, unchecked, living his best life. Blair just going to use that passive to heal up regardless. But the Nautilus is the first real point that you look towards that has started to move, right? So Pillow sees this Wukong bottom, immediately goes to the blue buff. They see the Wukong at the Raptors after as well. And there's definitely a world that Shera goes from bot straight towards the enemy blue to check if it's up, straight towards his own blue if he wants to protect top lane. But given that his emphasis is towards his own bottom lane, he's going to stay. And it seems like we're just going to get vertical jungle with the threat of Blair being dope.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's really what I think Team Thailand are setting up right now, because Blair has been poked out by Yummy a lot, and Pello on Nautilus, pretty good at going for the engage. They've got the pull, they've got the damage, the flash away. Yummy's got it set up for first blood. They jungled the aggro perfectly.
That was an absolutely insane hook that I'm not sold on. He was aiming for the champion over the wall to cover the distance to start the trade. Either way, Gragas drops. I'm sure a support ticket's put through from Blair after that one.
As a Nautilus player,
yeah.
it is a win-win. You throw it at the wall
exactly.
Because you're like, either it lollipops and hits them, or I still get the Spider-Man in.
He's been introduced to lollipops and has found that animation out the hard way. Crucilo, another tornado hits him. And just, it's the fact that they have pressure in so many lanes like you're seeing.
That's a ghost popped by Sayomo. They've got the grenades. They've got a lot of damage, but body block there. Stand behind Braum. Crucilo. Make sure that Blaze doesn't take too much, and they are calling down Chera to make sure that Sayomo and Jingbiu aren't going to go any further.
I'm surprised they didn't try and turn and be aggressive. You can see them using the sweeper, looking for the engage. Tornado just missing. They know Chera's here.
They have full information on that one. That is why they're backing off, especially because Taimo using a lot of the range to try to clear out the minions, meaning little mana,
and
no
look
more.
at Pillow. Pillow here for the counter gank. They get into the bush, but wait for the Nautilus.
For Jingliu flashing in, and that's the Nautilus. Pull back in, flash away from Jingliu. A lot of damage onto Kutuo, but he's still alive. Like I said, you no longer have that range, no mana for Taimo to actually get the explosive pop there from your AoE. It's on to Pello to try to re-engage. Might have gone a little bit too far, or did he? Because now that they got an excited Jinx chasing down, trying to get on top of Blaze, but it's going to be Shayra still looking for the double kill his own. As Taimo now left alone against a Wukong, flashing forward for Azaya, is excited, fighting back. Will just dash away, does not want to even try to continue the fight.
And it becomes this 2-for-2 trade. The wave state really good for Singapore with the fact that Shera is able to push that one in. Jinx is basing, but Jinx gets kills, and that was such a dicey little skirmish. A large CS advantage for the Zayas, dissuaded by that kill. But the real winner is Shera once again on this Wukong. 2 kills proper for the jungler of Singapore. And this Braum has had an absolute nightmare of an experience. Not even an auto attack. Not even a passive proc available to anyone that isn't Pillow. And they just can't find it. And this disengage happens. They look for Pillow. You can see he's clearly trying. They go back. Again, not even an auto attack. Braum just falls. Blaze can sit back and they can just accept that this is going to be a 1-for-1 trade and that the AD carry is going to live. But they go for this play and he auto attacks while in the bush.
Yeah.
Look mid and he's dead. Both mid laners are dead.
Yeah, I was like, both mid laners are dead. And Pello is there.
How did we get here?
With Kusuo kind of saying, hey, I helped out. I was mid lane as well.
I mean, hopefully we get a replay of that one. Not sure how both mid laners died, but this is a matchup we saw a lot of yesterday, and it is always just a case of... And he drops the tippers.
You dashed away, Azari.
Yeah, you dash away. It's a tippers drop for damage. Sometimes it's maybe more than that. Kusuo, bro, is...
He's eating every one of those tornadoes.
He's hungry.
But tornadoes, last I checked, aren't very filling. They're mostly just air.
It is just empty air.
It's like having a bag of chips.
It's Jingliu being hyper-aggressive, though, with these tornadoes, right? We can see the angles that he's placing them on, and they're unpredictable. They're aiming for jukes. Yep. That's why he's rent-free right now in Kusuo's head. Yep. Every time he's juked, he's been knocked up.
Yeah, he's like, I can outplay him. I can do this, and then, nope, I had that.
Stand perfectly still in lanes the one time he throws it straight.
And he's just like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
When you play your friend in rock, paper, scissors, and somehow you just win every single round.
Relentless.
Right there, let's watch
this. Is he juke up? He's juke up. Oh, okay. You never know.
Yeah, I was waiting for it too.
It's rent-free in our hands now.
Yeah.
We're invested in a 1v1 between supports.
Nice charm there from Arkelic onto Milnier. Just looking for a little bit of chip damage in mid lane.
Not just chip damage though, Magical. The CS difference in mid is large.
It is.
20 odd CS, ADC as well. Like we've been talking about the fact that Thailand are fighting, they're getting those kills, but you can't forget to farm.
Right. You got to get the gold. You got to make sure you can buy those items. The only one that's really getting ahead in CS is Yummy in this top lane. But he was struggling a bit there. The Vital proc didn't want to work with them. Gave a little bit of that path for Blair to kind of play around that and get Yummy out of lane.
A bit more mana and damage from Blair as well now with the perfect item. Recall timing, having a lost chapter. Bit of pressure once again. A simple ward in bottom is simply spotting Shera.
Yeah, they have full information, and even Pello nearby. Kusuo has to back off, and that's why Shera doesn't even hang around for a potential regank, knowing that the lane is going to crash. Because there's always that potential that Pello is nearby. With them having no idea at all of the position of Pello.
Kusuo is about to be spotted. Okay.
Oh, that's going to be a 1-for-1. Is it? No, Tibbers. Tibbers, get him. Ah, Arkelic gets the 1v1 solo bolo.
It's not going to be the 1-for-1 this time around. Kusuo, again, we look back to bottom. Spotted on vision. They know Shera's here as well. And it's Thailand's choice on do we want to fight or do we not want to. Singapore's setup is definitely lacking. They're never using sweeper. They're never control warding the bushes. I feel like this is just pressure relief more than anything else. Shera coming bottom just to ensure that they don't struggle constantly. They are ahead in that CS, so just keep it going. But the Braum is having a very bad day on Summoner's Rift, dealing with this Jinx and Janna.
That may be a bad time in lane, but it is 1-1-1 at the moment. Was able to help out mid lane a bit, and I think that's what set up Arkelic later on to be able to get that solo bolo over in Milnier.
Blair really trying to hold this wave in a good position as well. Actually, that Q's going to equalize it. Kill threat now exists for both of them. Blair needs to use his passive. 3 members, though, they're going to be spotted now.
Yummy doesn't have Grand Challenge either, nor Ghost. Both of them have been popped. Good riposte there. It doesn't dash away. Has to be careful. Looking for the rocket. Was looking for a little bit of damage, but they got to be careful because Sarah is there. Nice use of the tornado will save the life of Yummy.
Rom ultimate feels like out of frustration is just going to be used, and a Drake is going to be secured by the Nautilus. Jing Liu has single-handedly won the game so far for Thailand.
That tornado right there saves Yummy's life and keeps the side lane in favor of Fiora.
He's been controlling bot lane, right? Getting priority. That top gank is quite simply exactly what's required of him.
Yeah.
They will trade objectives in the end, but I can't help but look at Shera and say his mechanics have been fantastic when it comes to these fights, but when it comes to these ganks and lanes that he's looking towards, either the laner or him, they're just not setting up in a way where a gank can be successful. They're not aware of their opponent's vision. They're not playing around their opponent's vision. They're just walking through it and letting Thailand counter.
Fellow wants to flash over the wall, but spotted out. Charm will connect. Gets a lot of damage on Nautilus.
That Ari actually sees 2 low members now potentially up there as Top's going to get a demolished proc. Blair no ultimate though, used that earlier.
Right,
getting a replay. Ah yes, we'll see how a kill happened. Ari Kellic had full control. Is he just going to ult in and get a combo?
Yup, that's what it is.
He was going for a 1-for-1.
He was.
He was actually very lucky to survive that, going for that 1-for-1.
I think he thought that Nilnir was going to flash on top of him. He was like, I might as well go for it myself. That way I can at least trade 1-for-1, but was able to survive with 10 health. Something incredibly small like that will help out this lane really work out for Team Singapore.
Jinx ultimate, of course, was also used in that top skirmish, but the cooldown is so low that it will always come back. Brom's ult, however, a bit longer of a cooldown, so not going to be here anytime soon. 15 odd seconds away from that one.
Yeah, but with nothing to really play in this bot lane, it does seem that both sides kind of just handshaking. More vision set up by Team Singapore, and Team Thailand playing very wisely with that. That's why Sayamo and Leo are actually kind of playing passively for the first time we've really seen out of them. But Yummy, not playing passively against Blair in that top lane, was able to get a good trade. If you go to the bot lane, have to take that back. There's been 3 summoner spells burned by Team Thailand. They weren't able to get too much.
Ren, Blaze pulls the feathers back, doesn't find any purchase. There is a jungler here, but these Braum queues are high and wide.
They have no idea. No.
I tell you what, if they have no idea, Jing Liu is believing in the heart of the cards.
That was an invisible Wukong.
He had 0 idea.
It was one of those tornadoes that you hit someone, you're like, I hit someone? Yeah, I meant to do that. No.
I have to ask his favorite numbers today.
Seriously, he's got all the luck on his side. Mid lane, Nilnir, gonna put out Tibbers, Arkelic, half health, should be fine. Throwing back a little bit of damage on the Nilnir. And now with Chera, rotating into the mid lane, spotted out. They know that this is a possibility, but with the stun there for Annie, don't really want to dive.
And 50 gold off the Tibbers. Has a shutdown for himself now, Shera as well. Just as a result of those 2 kills in bottom lane, has been farming up nicely. And Herald to be summoned in mid. No Tibbers on an Annie. Does make defending this one pretty much impossible unless you get reinforcements. And here they come.
Yeah, but the charge still going to work out. That is a rocket that connects, and they re-engage, but stopwatch from Nilnir, the flash in from Pella with the Cyclone, and the flash in as well. That is going to be the auto attack with the flame ball that picks up a kill, and dashing back in, killing free for Shera, but will trade a life for a 1. That is 2 in favor of Thailand.
And it's a shutdown as well, so it ends up becoming a very favorable trade for Thailand on the back of a Jinx ultimate, just surprising them on damage output. Annie maybe not able to defend with Tibbers. We said reinforcements were coming. Sometimes it's just a big rocket that comes from across the map. Yeah. And again, very scrappy early game. Struggling once more to find angles, to find opportunities. They're very obvious in the opportunities that Singapore is taking.
Sayamo in a lot of trouble. Does sidestep the Glacial Fissure, but couldn't sidestep all that damage that came in from Blaze.
And this time around, right, overstep for 1 second too long. The Jinx gets punished. Sayamo falls down. Blaze and Kusua are a very aggressive duo. That much we can say with certainty. They know what they're about.
Leo is trying to defend the turret the best possible. Waiting it out from Nilnir without flash or Tibbers, but stun available. Scares off the bot lane of Singapore.
Potential bait there. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a stopwatch ultimately wasted as a Hex Flash is used to get over the wall just to cover the wave regardless as it crashes, and Annie was showing bottom. So the transaction and map movement pretty standard, but this turret is very close to falling.
Nice charm onto Pello. We'll get a lot of damage onto this Nautilus. With that tower being as low as you were talking about, Rusty, Zero was hanging around, maybe looking for that dive because they are so close to toppling the structure. But Nolnir are playing a little too aggressive and Pello not there to back up. They can easily pick up that kill.
And so many Ahri ult charges to make sure Tivers can't chase you, and a Wukong there to kill it this time as well. Very nicely done from Singapore. And that's the thing, right? They have, maybe everything hasn't gone well the entirety of this game. Maybe they've been countered 6 times, but that 7th attempt, right, is just as dangerous as the first 6. And you stop paying attention one time, and this game just balloons out of control.
And for now, you've got a 3-1 Wukong, 2-2 for your Ahri. Double up on the Everfrost for both your solo laners. You can just have a TP from Arkellic to grab this dragon and equate that at 1 apiece.
And suddenly an even game becomes 2k gold, becomes objectives starting to swing. Pillow is top, so Blair has to be very careful and does dodge the hook.
Dodging it that time around. Not going to be the play there for Team Thailand. Well, Team Singapore, free reign over this bottom half.
Yeah, which means blue buff secured, maybe a steal if you're lucky, but blue buff secured, turret to fall. Full priority belonging to the Xayah, to the Braum. Blaze having the time of his life, teleport in.
Oh, okay, Blair. Staying a little bit too long there. Is Yummy is able to heal up to full, looking for the change. They got even the flash over the wall. He's just trying to get away from Yummy. I don't think he even wants to give up a kill, but with the riposte to at least get a little bit of tick. Grand challenge already laid out. It's easy follow-up there for Yummy. Pick up that all the while. Bot lane, Team Singapore do answer back by taking a turret.
Yeah, the turret was kind of inevitably going to fall either way. Blair really just flashing to delay the inevitable, maybe in his mind buying time for the team. Looking perhaps at Mjolnir.
They're looking for him, looking for the dive. Rocket belt away, but no Tivers, no stun, no life.
Jera just tanking up the turret for the squad.
Oh, Asayamo got caught out by Arkel's mid lane too. Team Singapore
is going crazy. More than anything else, Singapore uses highlight everywhere at once, kind of going well. These cross maps are so scrappy.
And the fact that it's 2 lanes favoring Team Singapore, only the 1 for Team Thailand, the same kind of story that we've seen in game 1. It's going to be Yummy versus the world.
Yes. How do they win this game? Well, there is a Fiora. Now Fiora can in fact go to the side lanes. You see this Rift Herald that he's about to take. Where could that go? Probably the Fiora's lane. Hex Flash to be used. Wukong has Cyclone though.
Interrupts that. The Pillow doesn't have that freedom to get out of there as easily. Double up on the Cyclone as well, even with a Blast Cone from Blair just to get a little bit of assistance.
And another kill goes over. The cost of the objective, though he does secure that Rift Herald. Claymore, again, needs to be respectful. The Janna is here this time, though, so it's unlikely we'll get the solo kill as we're just looking at Blair die.
Yeah, just look at Yummy, chase him down.
He buys time, as much time as he possibly can. The reality is there was no trade on the map at this point, but they made it work. They found a dive in bottom lane. They found a solo kill in mid shortly after. Yummy versus the world.
Yummy versus the world. Waiting on that Ravenous Hydra to be completed, and then it truly is the Fiora side lane game.
Yes.
Nobody can really 1v1 her, let alone 1v2 or 1v3. It's going to take the whole squad to stop Yummy from taking the base.
I think with as large as Arkellic is, 3 people for the moment should be able to handle that Fiora.
I don't know. That is a Banshee's Veil for Arkellic.
Yeah, it's not a full DPS build.
And you really need that full DPS if you're going to take down this Fiora.
That's true.
That's what worries me here. You've got a lot more support from both your mid and top lane, going for the Everfrost on both of them. And then going for the Banshee's Veil second as Arkellic. Really just trying to get that safety up against Mjolnir, who's gone for full damage with the Rocket Belt.
Yeah, it's this Annie thing, right? You go Banshees, you're thinking to deal with Annie, and then they build a Rocket Belt, and suddenly your Banshees isn't going to stop the stun. They freak you out. You're wishing you had a Shadow Flame. You have double MR items, but they still find a way to kill you because they're full DPS. The thing I will say, though, with all of that theory in mind, is that Annie is no farm.
No.
Mjolnir has been kept very down, right? Every single time that we've looked mid, there's been a transaction of ults. They've been trading constantly. But Arkellic has the team backing him up.
Yes, you have more support. If you look at every one of their lanes outside of top lane, they have leads. Jungle's got a lead. You expect that, especially with how Chera has been playing so far on Wukong. You look bot lane too, 2-1 on your Xayah, but also 50 CS above a Jinx. That is going to help out. The bigger problem, though, is this Fiora. The side lane menace has that Ravenous Hydra, and then was gifted extra gold with the help of this Rift Herald.
And there's also the cross-map Jinx ultimates that can come in to influence these skirmishes as well. Annie with the teleport can play towards the Fiora's lane. They have these tools that exist that I think Thailand can actively utilize, right? They've got themselves a real, tangible win condition around their top laner. And they have a team that can play around that top laner to find success. The Herald Summon was really good, well-timed. Singapore not able to cross-map, not able to trade. They had no choice but to respond, or it was threatening an inhibitor turret.
Well, there goes that Vantage Veil. The Rocket Belt was used, but the turret should fall. Even with the Janus Shield, not enough. Team Singapore, this is the power that we were highlighting before as a team that has gotten practice before in local tournaments and regional tournaments. They have a lot of synergy. When they make a call as one, they all go for it.
I mean, they're just going to take objective after objective. I think it's very clear from Thailand's spot as well here that they are not contesting these. Ooh. Everyone is now handshaking what the win condition is going to be. Blair just dealing with Yummy as best he can. Would not be surprised to see it all in here, to be honest, from the Fiora.
As Yummy might actually just want to take down the turret. The Demolish proc has got a lot of damage, but he's got to be careful. Popping the Ghost to get away from the turret because he was bounced underneath it. This Blaze is rotating around, was looking for Yummy. Yummy is not too deterred, has laid out the grand challenge, and as Gragas, you cannot step up that far forward, especially as we have gotten later into the game as Fiora.
Kusuo comes through the Hex Gate. We have a Hex Rift once again, a lot of them actually in the past couple of days. Look at Shera.
Looking for Jingliu. It's going to be the Tornado, making sure they cannot continue this chase.
Tornado is very good into the Wukong. Very difficult to be the Wukong into a Janna, full stop. The Gragas being very much kept at bay. Did well to stop and dissuade any kind of 1v1 push and tower being taken, right? Trimming the wave and then dealing with the Fiora afterwards. It's that follow-up play where suddenly everyone's finding each other, just walking through vision, walking into each other to help this Fiora. It's a giant bat signal on the map right now and everyone's running to it.
Just make sure that Yummy can 1v9. That's essentially what Team Thailand, their game plan has devolved into. As long as Yummy is up on the field, they can play around that, utilize the pressure that he will get in any lane.
Mid lane.
Looking for the charm, able to get that on Tello. Tello tanking up for a long time, and now with the heal from Monsoon, not enough to keep him alive. So he'll fall, jungler gone. Team Singapore making the call for Baron.
I mean, Thailand say let Yummy 1v9. Singapore say let the Ahri find these picks. Let Arakelik cook. Baron going to be hit. Teleport probably needs to be used from Yummy if they want to contest this one. The question is, will he teleport?
No, I think Yummy is just looking to open up the base. He's inside of the base, and that is a fat minion wave inside, crashing onto
and he has flash Tibbers here as well.
That is going to be the tower taking the flash in, looking for the Tibbers, got a huge stun, but the smite is there to secure the Baron as Milnir has no escape. Jingliu will survive with the help of a tornado, but all the while, Yummy was able to take down the inhibitor in bot lane.
And once again, the split push strategy from Thailand. They've really come back between days and said Yummy is our beacon of hope.
Yeah.
This is our new strategy on the day. Singapore now have to contend with a Fiora and an open inhibitor. They have Baron. They have strength. The overall gold advantage for them is massive. You take top lane out of the equation, it's probably even larger, relatively speaking. No real hope for Thailand if their name isn't Yummy. But 4 members running just distraction in Zone D.
It is all about turtle. Remember we talked about the turtle defense? You protect Tayomo, make sure that you have your wave clear in Jinx, and everyone does everything, even if you have to sacrifice yourself to keep Jinx alive so Yummy in the side lane can win the game.
Speaking of Tayomo, going to use that Gale Force to cover some distance, but Arakelik
was able to get a nice charm as well to look for a re-engage with the Cyclone. Milnir surviving, but only for so long before him and Jingliu both die. And they have to be careful because they have lost the defense. While the President might be up, there's no longer the bodyguards around him.
The turtle poked its head out, Magical, and suddenly the opportunity to defend and let this Fiora split is gone. Yummy comes back to base. 2 teleports straight into the middle lane. They'll see the Fiora, so they'll now have to reassess. Do we end here?
I think they go for it.
They've got the Baron buff. It looks like they're committing.
Fiora's powerful in a side lane, not with the rest of the team. There's only so much wave clear time we can do, especially when you have to get body blocked by Yummy, and you're taken out so quickly by a feather recall. That Xing Liu will respawn, but he'll only die upon it, knowing that is all Team Singapore. They've got this one in the bag, a 2-0 to their name.
And 25 minutes into the game.